தமிழ் ஜனம் டிவி நேயர்களுக்கு இனிய வணக்கங்கள், நல்வாழ்த்துக்கள். ரவீந்திர நாராயண ரவி, நம்மால் RN ரவி என்று அன்புடன் அழைக்கப்படுபவர். பல்வேறு பணிகளின் இடையே உரையாட நேரம் தந்தமைக்கு ஆளுநருக்கு தலையெல்லால் கைமாறிலனே. Honorable Governor Ravindra Narayan Raviji, you have been masters in physics. Then you ventured into journalism. At the right time you came out of it. Maybe you realized your mistake. Then you entered the Central Bureau of Investigation and you led anti-corruption teams. Then you came for intelligence and served the security issues of Nagaland and Jammu and Kashmir. You have traveled in all crucial areas and now you're a governor. Are you happy to be a governor?
என் அன்பான தமிழ்நாட்டின் சகோதர சகோதரிகளே, உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். உங்கள் அன்புக்கும் பாஸ்திற்கும் எனது மன்மார்ந்த நன்றிகள். பண்டிகை காலம் வந்துகின்றனர். அது உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் நல்வாழ்த்துகள். Yes, I am very happy to have got the opportunity to serve the people of Tamil Nadu and know something about the great, ancient and rich Tamil culture, Tamil language, and the wonderful Tamil people who are so nice, who are so hospitable, so loving, so affectionate. Coming to Tamil Nadu has been a life-enriching experience for me. I have served in various parts of the country. And over the years, I have grown up. My understanding of the country has developed, evolved. Coming to Tamil Nadu has given an enormous boost to that. It's true that over 4.5 decades of my life, I have spent in areas and dealing with issues which fall broadly in the national security domain. But when the Prime Minister gave me this responsibility, I happily accepted it because I have profound admiration for him and boundless trust in his leadership. And when I say that, my admiration for him did not begin after he became Prime Minister. It's long before that. At a time when he was almost nobody in public life. You know, on 26th of January 1992, I was in Kashmir, in Intelligence Bureau. Kashmir was burning. Worst kind of atrocities had been committed on Hindus. Lakhs of them were purged out. In fact, atrocities were much worse than what has been depicted in Kashmir files. Valley and especially Srinagar was teeming with terrorists. Lal Chowk at the heart of city. Nobody dared to venture that area. Even our armed forces could not go unless in an armored vehicle, because anything could happen. Holding national event like Republic Day, Independence Day was so difficult. They used to be held in a very controlled stadium environment, and that too under huge stress. At that point of time, when the leaders of Kashmir had run away, Dr. Farooq Abdullah with his entire family had taken refuge in London. Nobody was there. In that environment, there was a young man who came to Lal Chowk, Srinagar, and hoisted the national flag. Despite a state government making it clear they would not be able to provide him security. That was a goosebump moment for me. That here is a young man, young in the sense that he is of my age, just 1 or 2 years senior to me, elder to me. He could stake his life for the honor and glory of our country. Then I made inquiry, who was he? Then I got to know that the gentleman was Narendra Modi. He went up in my esteem that there is a man. Much later, he came to Gujarat, the way he transformed Gujarat, we all know that. And then he came to Delhi, and the way he has been transforming the country. A person 24/7 thinks nothing but how to restore the glory of Mahabharati, this great country. He knows my strengths and weaknesses. He chose to give me this responsibility. I happily accepted it, and I'm pretty happy about it. Thank you very much.
Sir, you have covered all the sensitive areas in the country, Jammu and Kashmir, Nagaland, Northeast, and that's why you're coming to Tamil Nadu raised bros. My question is, what sort of situation is in Tamil Nadu? What do you feel after taking over as governor? How safe is Tamil Nadu?
Tamil Nadu people are very nice, very hospitable, friendly, highly cultured. But Tamil Nadu has been a place where we have national security concerns. We have radicalization. We have terror modules who have been operating with reasonable impunity. Of course, NIA being the central agency, they have been taking action against them. But what has been worrisome for me is a political culture in Tamil Nadu which keeps itself aloof from the rest of the nation. And that's not a good thing.
So, when you say this, your statements are misinterpreted and misunderstood. It is ensured that they are misunderstood. My point is, you are being portrayed as an anti-Tamil here. What is your take on that?
Look, I don't know those why people say so. Some people say so. Wherever I have traveled, I never for a moment got an impression that people were less loving or affectionate to me. In fact, invariably I have been overwhelmed by their love and affection. So if someone says that I hate Tamil, I don't see it is reflecting in people's behavior towards me. And Tamil language, Tamil culture is pride of our nation. In fact, the most ancient living language and such rich culture. People so evolved. I think those who say that I hate Tamil, they also know that they are not telling the truth. You know.
Sir, do you think that to protect one language and one culture, the other cultures should be hated by people? I just elaborate on this. Recently, our Prime Minister, during the Bihar election campaign, he said Biharis were harassed in Tamil Nadu. Uh, I'd like to ask you, have you received any concrete evidence on such harassment, or you had informed center about this? What was the provocation to make this statement?
You know, you have asked a question to which I have to be honest, because I don't like to reopen a wound, a healing wound. You know, you recall 2023, towards the later part of 2022, there were senior ministers in the state government who had articulated their anti-Hindi speaking migrant laborers using the expression like Pani Puri Bechne Wala. This is a guy who only Bihari or the Hindi speaking guys are only fit for selling Pani Puri. In April 2023, a number of posters had appeared in various parts of our state. Some of those posters are still with me. I don't like to, as I said, reopen the wound. With the photograph of the leader of the political party threatening this Hindi speaking migrant laborers, setting the deadline for them to leave Tamil Nadu, and there was massive exodus. Our labor-intensive industries, construction, textile, printing, they heavily suffered. In my tour to the state where I used to go and pacify, I tell the people, don't worry. People are very nice and hospitable. I have seen those posters myself. As I told you that I have some of those posters with me, even now. I brought this notice to the notice of police officers, district police officers. What is this? This hate campaign with a warning to threaten? And some of the migrant laborers were assaulted, physically assaulted. They all told me that they are the miscreants and we are taking action. In fact, I had to come on social media on May 5 to pacify the people, to fear of the migrant laborers, that you don't have to worry about it. People are so nice here, they will not trouble you. But you know, all around there was a fear. And fear was not ill-founded because there were evidence of open threat against them. And some of them assaulted. Now, when these industries suffered, because people in construction industries, textile, printing, they used to tell me, sir, our business has collapsed. We are trying to get them back, they are not coming. So when this started hitting the economy, then government realized the consequences of it, that how important these migrant laborers were in the economy of our state. And then they started making some noise in damage control. But the fact is that it was all a built-up which started from the middle of 2022 and it went on till 2023, middle of it. And in fact, it took time for some of the migrant laborers to come back. In fact, our people went there to persuade and convince them. So it is not the people who harass them. People love them. People of Tamil Nadu are very affectionate. They know the worth of these migrant laborers, how important they are. It is the perverse politics, projecting them as those who have come to destroy our culture, our language. They create imaginary fear and create the situation. That's the reality.
Sir, I have been following your adventurous life story. It's full of long struggles and severe hardships. And you have come to the most sensitive part of the country, that's the southern part, which runs its politics on the North anti-Indian, anti-North template. It should be anti-North template. And whenever there's boys against the North, the post of governor is targeted. Now, I think you'll be seeing all around opposition. It's all narratives against you. How do you plan to tackle it?
Here, as you said, that it is anti-North or anti-Hindi plank on which politics is being played. But I don't entirely agree with it, because actually Tamil Nadu politics, unlike some other regions where it is some regionalism, it is not regionalism. It is essentially Tamil exceptionalism, that Tamil people and Tamil Nadu are distinct from the rest of the country. They are distinct in terms of race. They call Dravid is a separate race. And language, Tamil language is a language which has nothing to do with any Indian languages. And both these planks are essentially of European origin, because there's the German Nazis who had given the race theory a boost. They were the one who had created this Aryan theory, Aryan invasion. Now, nobody in Europe or Germany talks about it. But here there are people who talk about it. It has been debunked. It is all fiction, sinister fiction. And as far as language, again, it is Robert Caldwell who wrote the book Grammar of Dravidian Languages and tried to make a difference between Tamil and the rest. This Tamil exceptionalism, that Tamil is distinct, and they articulate it in terms of hatred against others, it goes even to other languages of Dravidian family, like Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam. It's not just Hindi. Hindi is a political ploy. In our state, there are over 35% people of linguistic minority. But they are not allowed to teach their mother tongue to their children in schools run by them. In fact, 2022, when this government didn't allow them to do, and they are running large number of schools run by them, they had to go to Supreme Court, and September 2023, Supreme Court gave a verdict, and in that case, state government fought it very strongly to hold their position. But Supreme Court said no. Linguistic minorities have their constitutional fundamental rights to teach their children their mother tongue. It came in September 2023. So when we talk about Hindi, but the reality is they hate all other languages other than Tamil. Linguistic minorities here, they are afraid beyond their house to talk in their mother tongue. And when it comes to Tamil, I wonder whether do they really love Tamil? What have they done for the promotion of Tamil language or Tamil culture? Take the case of language. Any substantive measure which they have taken to promote Tamil language. The reality is that year on year in our schools, students are moving away from Tamil medium to English medium. Number of students pursuing their studies in Tamil is declining steadily and steeply. One. You know, 1981, Dr. MGR, when he was the Chief Minister, he established Tanjavur Tamil University for promotion of Tamil language and heritage. Over 40 years down the line, this university is in the most pathetic condition. Can you imagine that an university does not have even 1,000 students, even after 40 years, not even 1,000. Now, UGC has certain norms that a higher educational institution, especially university, to get the benefits of certain schemes, central schemes, it must have at least 1,000 students. So what they're doing? They are just adding up the PhD scholars somehow to reach the 1,000 marks. Look at the way it is functioning. The faculty strength of Tanjavur Tamil University is about 90. 50% posts have been vacant for long, not filled. There is no research grant for students doing research in Tamil language, Tamil literature, Tamil heritage. No research grant. Ironically, the students, those who are doing the research PhD today in that university, most of them are without fellowship. And those who have fellowship, they are supported by central organizations like ICSSR, CICT. They are funding them, not Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu government has given zero budget for research. Look at Tamil heritage. There are over 11 lakhs palm leaves manuscripts rotting, getting destroyed. No money allotted for their preservation. Look at other universities. This is the status of Tamil Nadu, Tanjavur, Tamil University. People say that since it was established by Dr. MGR, a great leader, so this government is not very, very sympathetic to it. I'm not getting into that. But I believe that Tamil language and Tamil heritage should be above these considerations. Take other universities, status of Tamil, state universities. We have 20 state universities. We all know that in the 20th century, the entire 20th century, nobody did a greater service to Tamil language and Tamil pride than Mahakavi Subramaniam Bharati. There is not one chair in the name of Subramaniam Bharati. For the last 4 years, I have been struggling to establish a chair. Whenever I insist on a VC, you establish a chair for Mahakavi Bharati. VC comes to me, sir, I have been threatened by the minister. And they are genuinely scared because they can go to any length. They will harass them. They can lodge false police complaints against them. They can do that, they know that. I have not succeeded. On the other hand, there are more than 15 chairs in our universities in the name of just 3 Dravidian icons. In fact, our Honorable Chief Minister has established 2 chairs in his father's name. I have great regard for Kalanar, but 2 chairs and 2 more chairs are coming up. But no chair for Mahakavi Bharati. Now, this tells you their love for Tamil. Now, if you look at who at this point of time is serving the cause of Tamil and Tamil culture, if I say that no leader has done as much service for Tamil language and culture than Prime Minister Modi. What he did? Our CICT, Central Institute of Classical Tamil, was in a bad shape. A state-of-the-art building, facilities created by Prime Minister Modi. Taking Tamil language to the rest of the country. BHU has now a running diploma course in Tamil language. They have a Subramaniam Bharati chair in BHU. There is a Tamil diploma course has been initiated in Guwahati University. And I am happy that there are a large number of non-Tamil students joining these courses. These are all PM Modi's initiative. Take the Tamil literature beyond Tamil Nadu, beyond India. Setting up Thiruvalluvar Center in Singapore. Setting up Thiruvalluvar Chair in Malaysian University. Boston University in USA. Paying for the Tamil language teachers abroad, country like Fiji. If it comes to Tamil culture, Sengol, we know that. It's the mark of our pride. It was such a crucial witness to transfer of power. It was forgotten. What Prime Minister Modi did? He discovered it. It was lying somewhere in a private museum as a walking stick, brought it and with full glory restored it in the new parliament building. Look at the Cholas, great Cholas, they are pride of the whole country. Now, Prime Minister has already announced that Rajaraja Chola and Rajendra Chola, they are building the huge statues of theirs. If it comes to Tamil culture, let us say these people, those who have been talking about so much about Tamil, I have never, in last 4 years at least, I have not heard or not read any news whether they have ever done anything in praise of any of the Nayanars or Alvars. Because they will say they are bhaktis, unscientific. If Nayanars and Alvars are unscientific, then what is left of Tamil culture? We know that Tamil Nadu, our people are so great devotee of Shiva, Lord Shiva, wherever you go. And our people had such a deep connect with Kashi. It is Prime Minister Modi, for the last 4 years, began Kasi Tamil Sangamam. To rejuvenate Tamil culture and its wider connect. So those who have been talking in terms of promoting Tamil and being the champions of Tamil, and in the process disliking or hating others, unfortunately, they are so much consumed with hatred that they have stopped, or rather they have never loved even Tamil. Take the case of our Tamil Nadu archive. It is the richest archive in our whole country. Richest archive. For the last 4 years, I have been struggling to get this archive digitized. What is the latest? Not even 3% of its document has been digitized. Because they do not want this history to be preserved because it will run in their face. So the people are awakened, they know more and more. So instead of looking at doing introspection, looking at themselves, calling others as anti-Tamil, that's not going to last long, actually.
Thank you for your explanation. This was one area where people had a lot of questions and you have clarified. Now, this reminds me of two separate incidents. One happened at the Tamil Nadu State Assembly and the other one at the Raj Bhavan. I am referring to two incidents. The first one involving your walkout out of the State Assembly saying Constitution and the National Anthem were insulted. And there was a tit for tat incident at the Raj Bhavan when the Chief Minister claimed that you had insulted the Tamil Thai Varthu. Ekkanamum adil siranda Dravidanal Tirunadam. So he demanded your removal for that. So why is this happening, sir? We are part of the same country. Why is this happening? Can't you sit with the Chief Minister and sort out the issues?
Look, as far as this part you said about Raj Bhavan, I tell you this is a total lie. Nothing like this happened in Raj Bhavan. An incident happened at Doordarshan. They were celebrating 50 years of their existence here, in which they had invited me as a guest. I went there. There, while reciting Tamil Thai Vardu, they had missed some stanza, some line. And I had warned them, they had given an apology. It was that. Never ever at Raj Bhavan, Tamil Thai Vardu has been in any way shown lack of respect. In fact, I can sing Tamil Thai Vardu much better than many of the guys who talk about Tamil. So that is totally wrong. And Chief Minister was not a witness to any such, and Chief Minister has not even brought to my notice because there is no such incident happened. Here we ensure that Tamil Thai Vardu is duly respected. As far as Tamil Nadu Assembly is concerned, my walking out, it's very painful. I go to the assembly to read the statement, not to walk out. But I have a constitutional obligation to defend the Constitution. And Article 51A of the Constitution says that national anthem must be respected. It is our duty. And National Anthem Code says that in all such functions where governor or president participates, it begins with national anthem and concludes with national anthem. And right from beginning, I have been talking to the Honorable Chief Minister, to the Speaker, one-to-one, written them letter that national anthem should be sung or played. Tamil Thai Vardu must be played. It is our pride. But so is the case with national anthem. One-to-one, they will leave this very room saying, we'll consider. But they never do that. Now, this hatred towards national anthem, first thing, it is beyond my comprehension. And second is, I as a governor cannot, who is duty bound, oath bound to defend the Constitution, cannot be a witness to national anthem being disrespected. So I have made my position clear, and I make it clear every time. There are every session where I have to go, When a speaker comes, initially Chief Minister, I used to talk to him and tell him that this, please, it should be done. I have written letter every time, but they have refused to play or sing national anthem. Now, I cannot be a party to that. There is a difference between the oath which CM takes and governor takes. Chief Minister takes the oath to uphold the Constitution, abide by the Constitution. Governor's oath is to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. I cannot be a witness to a flagrant disrespect to the Constitution. That's my point.
I'd like to raise some security issues. Since you have handled Jammu and Kashmir and later Nagaland, you have handled them efficiently. I think you are the right person to answer this. Terrorism has become the systematic weapon of war that knows no borders and seldom has a face. Our border is porous and infiltration takes place, and drug menace is also now spreading. How do we handle this drug menace?
You know, your question has many significant facets to it. You mentioned about border, porous, vulnerability along the border, and then drug. You know, if you look at the vulnerability of the border, until recently, and in fact, if you ask me to give a broad sweep of national security, especially border security, for 6.5 decades, our government did not build infrastructure to access the border. Our northern border, which is very sensitive border with Tibet, it used to remain more than 6 months inaccessible, snowbound. We neglected the border population because they didn't have the basic amenities like hospital, schools, electricity, roads, nothing. In 2000, up to 2013-14, when I used to travel along that border, I used to feel embarrassed. For connectivity, I had to go, my mobile, I had to go on the Chinese network to connect with Delhi. There was no connectivity. As a result, hundreds and hundreds of villages had become desert, where people had vacated, they left, moving towards interior district headquarters for educating their children, for having access to basic amenities. So our borders were neglected, our border population was completely neglected. On the other hand, China was building border villages, new border villages. After Prime Minister Modi came, that we built all these tunnels. Jojila tunnel to connect the Srinagar Valley, Kashmir Valley with Ladakh. Atal tunnel below Rohtang Pass, because it used to be closed for almost 8 months earlier. No connectivity. Today we have all the weather. Sela Pass in Arunachal, it used to be closed 14,000 feet. We have built the tunnel. We have built numerous tunnels. Today, our borders are accessible round the year. Today, Prime Minister Modi launched the Vibrant Border Village program, whereby we are providing all the basic amenities to those villages which have been mostly vacated. So people are going back, repopulating the villages. Our forces are able to manage or defend our border with greater confidence because they have accessibility all the time. And our border population is happier today because nobody likes to leave one's route. We had neglected all this. So I must say that our borders are better defended today than ever before. Our border population, a lot of work is going on because we have started. It's not that we have completed, it's going on. Infrastructure work is going on at a massive scale. Even Brahmaputra, this Bogeybill Bridge, the longest bridge on the river in the world, it was completed so that not only our civilian population but even our troops could move to the border. All these infrastructure building and welfare to our people living in the border areas, because they are our strategic assets, they are our people. In fact, border village being called the last village, Prime Minister changed the narrative, is the first village, rightly so. When you come, this is the first village. Look at the thinking. So we are much better secure, our borders are much better managed. As far as drug is concerned, drug remains a serious problem. As far as our state is concerned, for long we have been in a denial mode. And whenever we started, the pressure came that we must act. Our enforcement agencies would seize ganja. Ganja is bad. We must not allow people. But our worry should be, it is synthetic drugs, derivatives of cocaine, opium, which is heroin, synthetic drugs like tramadol. These are highly addictive and they destroy the youth, the generations. For long, we were in denial mode. There have been seizures after seizures on our sea coast, at the airport, large volumes of synthetic drugs being seized. But inside, our enforcement will only catch ganja. Now they have started catching the synthetic also. And our viewers might be shocked that in 2024, the quantity of drugs seized it 14 times more than the previous year. Such a large volume of seizure. And we must admit that what we have seized is not complete. It is only a part of it. So it tells you the magnitude of supply of drug in our state. You know, drug issue has two sides, supply and demand. By creating greater awareness, we try to curb the demand. But so long supply remains aggressive, you will not succeed. You cannot win war against drug. I am afraid we have not paid attention to the supply side. When I talk to the enforcement people here, they will tell, sir, these migrant workers who are coming, they bring from here and there. I say, look, such a huge quantity of drugs, you are just simplifying it, putting the blame on the migrant worker. They might be getting it. I'm not saying that. But the sheer volume is such that it is an organized work of organized people, a syndicate. We are not touching them. Some people say, and one has a reason to believe, that this syndicate being close to the power that be, we are not touching. So the drug problem is a very serious problem. Parents come. School children parents, college going children parents. They have been raising this point with me right from the time when I came. And I have been flagging with the enforcement agencies. But I must tell you that what we are doing is much less than what we ought to. And especially, unless we come down heavily on the supply side, it doesn't augur well for us.
Governor, you just said our borders are well managed. That's comforting. But perhaps that's the reason why they are resorting to newer tactics. I'm just referring to the cyber attacks, and they're using that cyber for nefarious purposes. Are we well equipped to tackle the cyber attacks?
Let me explain to you, because cyber is one aspect of our national security. National security being a comprehensive domain, it will be good if we have a broader perspective how we are managing the national security today. And for which I would take the viewers to a period of time, how we have been managing it. And then the cyber will be a part of that. At the time of independence, there was no internal security problem. We had a problem of partition. Millions of people were displaced. Their rehabilitation was a big problem. Large number of lakhs of people were killed. All those problems, humanitarian crises were there. But there was no internal security problem. Nearly for first decade of independence, the country did not witness any internal security problem. I'm talking about internal. I will come to the external. By the end of the first decade, problem started erupting. Northeast, in the Naga Hills, Naga said, we are not part of India, and they took up armed fight. The same Nagas who were part of our Constituent Assembly, those who had taken part in the framing of our Constitution, those who had opposed giving away the Northeast to Pakistan, East Pakistan, they have revolted. They will not accept it. The same set of people, 10 years later, they started, no, we will be independent. We are not India, we will be away. Over the years, it has spread to the whole Northeast region. No part of Northeast remained unaffected. We had to put almost about 4 lakhs military force to hold the region. By the end of the first decade and the beginning of the second, Maoist violence began. There was no Maoist violence. There were here and there, traces were there, but it was not organized. First happened in North Bengal at Naxalbari. And over the decades, it has spread to over 200 districts in our country. Over 200 districts where they ran their own government, what they call Jantana Sarkar. In the Northeast, all these insurgent groups, they were running their own government. Jammu and Kashmir, internally it was quiet, remained quiet, but by about beginning of 90s, it erupted in violence. And violence continued, escalating. In between, Punjab went in flames, Khalistani movement began. All these years, we kept building our military in the sense recruiting more and more, creating more and more forces, central forces, state police, augmenting state police forces. We built a military of about 1.3 million. We kept creating new and new forces and enhancing the strength of the existing forces, BSF, CRPF, CISF, ITBP, Assam Rifles, so many of them, SSB, Sashastra Seema Bal, so many forces we kept creating. Today we have a paramilitary force of over 1 million. A state police strength put together in our country is over 2 million. We kept increasing the police strength, military strength, paramilitary strength, but the problems continued multiplying. So much so that by UPA government, Prime Minister on record, Dr. Manmohan Singh, Maoist threat, he said it is the biggest internal security challenge to our national security. If you look at the national security scenario from peace we kept deteriorating. We kept building the military, we kept building the paramilitary, we kept building the police, we kept creating investigating agencies. But the problem kept multiplying. Look at terrorism. No part of the country was safe. Not only attacks on Parliament and Mumbai, Delhi, Lucknow, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Coimbatore, almost you can keep counting. There was no place in this country which was safe from terrorist attack. And we all knew that all these were originating from Pakistan. We didn't act. Imagine Mumbai attack. For 60 hours, a handful of Pakistani terrorists, they humiliated the whole country. The whole country watched in frustration on TV what they did. Nearly 300 people were killed and city was devastated. Just 3. And what did we do? Within 9 months of that Mumbai attack, Prime Minister of India and Prime Minister of Pakistan, they meet in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt and signs an agreement, MOU. Both countries are victims of terrorism. A shameful act. Pakistan could commit act of terror with impunity because our leadership was scared of nuclear blackmail. Now look at how the situation today. In terms of human loss, I must also share with you that till about 2014, around that, every year we used to lose 5,000 to 6,000 Indians in organized violence by those who wanted to break away from India or to topple the constitutional parliamentary democracy. Those in the northeast, they wanted to break away the northeast. Jammu and Kashmir, they wanted to break away the northeast, Jammu and Kashmir. And Maoists, they didn't believe in constitutional parliamentary democracy. They wanted to move it. 5,000 to 6,000 people used to die every year. What is the situation today? Northeast is peaceful. Now we are building semiconductor fabs and all. Jammu and Kashmir, near normal. Pakistan, being in the neighborhood, they will try to create once in a while, but we punish them decisively. Maoists from over 200 districts, they have shrunk to less than 10. They are breathing last. How this change happened? When we look at our forces, our paramilitary forces, our investigating agencies, these are the instruments for national security. They are like soldiers in your battle. But soldiers are important. But what matters is the commander. We have seen, the world is witness to many such battles where a large army, humongous army has been defeated because commander was weak. National leadership. National leadership has made the difference. It is the same military, same investigating agencies, same paramilitary. Today, all these regions have become peaceful. Why? The national leadership, what did he do? I also must explain. National leadership with a clear sense of what we call Shatrubodh, who is your enemy. In national security, 2 things are very important, internal or external. Shatrubodh and Atmabodh. You must have a clarity about who is your enemy. Is Pakistan our enemy or a friend? They kept committing acts of terror and we kept singing songs of Aman Ki Asha, that we will have peace, we will have peace. No, we must have a clarity. The insurgents, those who are fighting and separating the northeast from India, trying to separate, are they our friends or enemy? we must have clarity. Maoists, those who want to topple the constitutional order, are they friends or enemy? Earlier, leadership, what they did. In Jammu and Kashmir, the terrorists who were committing violence on the innocent people under Pakistan's patronage to break Jammu and Kashmir, they were being hosted by the Prime Minister of our country. Whole country has witnessed how their leaders were hosted and handshake between the Prime Minister and them. Our forces used to wonder, is this person an enemy or friend? In the Northeast, all these areas I have been witness to it, and I can countless examples I can give. These terrorists, those who were trying to break this country during the time of election, they were the favored assets of the ruling dispensation. With hard work, intelligence agency, investigating agency, we will catch a hardcore terrorist who has killed hundreds of innocent people, including a large number of our armed forces. We catch the guys, bring him to justice. Come election, the person is released to mobilize certain seats. All these have happened. When Prime Minister Modi came, he made it very clear. Zero tolerance. Anyone who takes a gun to break this country or defy the constitution will not be tolerated. The message was loud and clear. When people say that I did this Naga talk and Northeast, pacifying the Northeast, yes. Before 2014, before Prime Minister Modi came, we were talking to them for the last 20 years. All over the world, our team used to go to talk to them, negotiate with them. And it will be of interest because during UPA one time, the level was raised from interlocutor to the ministerial level. There were 3 ministers in UPA 1 government who led the talk, in which our Mr. Raghupati, who was the MOS home at the time, he was also a member. Oscar Fernandez and Prithviraj Chauhan, they were MOS in PMO. They used to go, travel around, and this insurgent Naga leaders, they used to go and play mouth organ to them, to please them. We made them larger than life. When you feed a snake will bite you. You cannot. They all did it. He was a witness to that. We have all the evidence of that. When Prime Minister Modi came, he says, first of all, no talk with anyone with arm in the hand. No question of any talk. And within 1 year, the same Naga insurgents, those who were talking big and to please them, our ministers, our leaders used to play mouth organ and song. They came around and signed an agreement to settle all their issues within the Union of India and Indian Constitution. And they, being the mother of all insurgencies in the region, rest all they fell in line. They became peaceful. Clarity. Satru both, we will not. Indian state is not weak to negotiate with anyone or get blackmailed by anyone. So Satru both, clarity. Jammu and Kashmir, problem is 370, temporary, remove it. He removed it. Surgical treatment. Maoist people used to, apologists used to say, they are our people. Why should we be aggressive on them? They are our people. They are not allowing the innocent Adivasis the benefit of progress, development. They will not allow building of roads, building of schools, hospitals, communication towers. They will not allow. Are they friends of the people? Forget about government. They are the enemies of the people. And those who are enemies of the people, government should not and cannot tolerate them. So now that area is peaceful. Pakistan, nuclear blackmail. Prime Minister Modi said, no, it cannot be. We cannot tolerate this. First, when they did Uri, we did surgical strike. Later, when they did Pulwama, we did Balakot inside. 200 kilometers inside Pakistan, we hit them. And when they did Pahalgam, Operation Sindoor was launched. World witnessed it. How? In 4 days, India achieved decisive victory over Pakistan, destroyed their capacity to respond, killed over 100 terrorists. Everyone watched how it was done with almost near zero impact on our side. So, Satrubodh, clarity of enemy. Second is Atmabodh. Atmabodh is who are we and what is our strength. Unfortunately, earlier governments looked at this country in terms of fragments. A problem in Kashmir is of Kashmir problem. Northeast is Northeast problem. Maoist is Maoist, those areas problem. They never looked at it as a problem of the whole country. They never believed, they are the people who said that, what is India? India is people who have Chinese, Africans, Arabs. They looked diversity in terms of differences. They forgot that this country, born over 5,000 years ago, has got a deep civilizational connect with each other, respect cutting across, transcending the boundary of language and region. We are all part of a family, kutumba. Look at this country, so problem, and that is what Prime Minister Modi, the first he made, you remember, you might recall, September 2014, when Chinese President Xi Jinping had visited India, and he was in Ahmedabad, being hosted by Prime Minister Modi. At that time, Chinese PLA moved into Ladakh, southern Ladakh, and they went and occupied a height. This was not acceptable to us. It was brought to the notice of Prime Minister Modi, and Prime Minister Modi said, clear direction to the armed forces, to the army and ITBP. They must be repelled, must be made to vacate this place. And he told Chinese president, this is not acceptable. President Xi Jinping said, Mr. Prime Minister, this is a small issue, we will sort it out. Now listen the response of the Prime Minister Modi. And that gives you a sense what this man looks at the country. He says, no, Mr. President, this is not a small. If a tooth aches, the whole body suffers. It is not the problem of the tooth, it is the problem of the body. This is not a small problem. This is not acceptable. And finally, our forces repelled them. When Doklam happened, we had a 74-day standoff. China went all around the world telling the people, countries, that look, India is provocating. We didn't yield. Finally, they had to go back. The clarity. No, looking at the country, a part of it is not separate. It is a part of the whole. A finger is not separate from the body. It is the part of the whole body. That is looking at the country. And then strength. What was our strength? We had literally outsourced our national security to foreign sources. Our military was heavily dependent on supplies from abroad. We had the dubious distinction of being the largest arms buyer in the world. We had an set of ordnance factories, ordnance service to manage it. Nearly 90,000 employees working. It was a white elephant. We are not producing bullets and rifles for our military. All unionized. What Prime Minister did? No, it is not acceptable. They threatened, we'll go on a strike, we'll deal with it. Finally, they all fell in line. Dismantled and restructured into corporate entities. Today, they are all, they say, perform or perish. If you do not perform, you are not important. You are doing a service to the nation. If you are not able to produce, you have no reason to exist. The same ordnance factories are doing wonders today when they were restructured, allowing private sector to play. Today, we are exporter of defense wares. Nearly 25,000 crore worth of defense export we did last year, and our target is much higher. and private sector is playing a very significant role in that. Technology, self-reliance in defense, self-reliance in security. National security is not something that can be outsourced. Earlier we were doing that. Of course, people say that there was a lot of corruption, so people, you buy it and then you make money, national interest goes. Who cares? But no more. Today, defense startup, defense technology, that sector is thriving. We have witnessed in Operation Sindoor the strength of our self-reliance in national security. The private sector people, those who made those drones, smart drones, which with a swarm capacity, which ensured that Pakistan, which used the Chinese and Turkish drones, they couldn't succeed at all. They were all neutralized in the air itself. It is the indigenous capacity. So, when I said Satrubodh and Atmabodh, you must have a clarity about who is your enemy, and you must deal with that entity as enemies. And Atmabodh, who are we? We are a Kutumbam. That is what Prime Minister always says, it's a one family, 140 crore. And that is reflected in all the policies. And we must be self-reliant in national security. Now, coming to your cyber. Cyber is a part of it. In cyber, it's basically a technology domain. There are two aspects of it. In any national security issues, there are two, defensive and offensive. You cannot keep building walls and hiding yourself. You must have the offensive capacity to neutralize the enemy before the enemy strikes you. In cyber domain as well, we have built and we continue building, because it's a game that has to keep continue improving. Both what we call sword and shield, defend and if need be punish. There's massive work going on, and we have achieved fairly remarkable success in that. So when we talk and look at the national security, we have to see it in the broad perspective. Today our country is far more secure than ever before. Not only borders, even inside. In every domain. Look at what, if further I will just add it one bit. We had become nuclear power long back. And we demonstrated it during Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time. But we had not developed the full nuclear deterrence. When we say full nuclear deterrence means it is nuclear triad. You have a nuclear capacity to launch an offensive, because in nuclear weapon or warfare, what secures you is your adversaries fear that he will hit back and destroy them. It is called MAD, mutually assured destruction. That is the only deterrence you have in nuclear warfare. For that, capacity to launch nuclear offense from land, from air, and from under the water. We didn't build under the water. It is during Prime Minister Modi's time that our Arihant, which came successfully, and now we have two Arihant. It's not one, we have multiple. So we created the whole nuclear triad, deterrence. That no adversary, however powerful, can fiddle with India lightly. So nuclear blackmail is not acceptable. A space domain. You know that today our whole life is linked with a space. Our agriculture, our navigation, our communication, everything is through a space asset. Our space assets are vulnerable. Your adversary can destroy your satellite. Your whole communication, your everything was completely neutralized. During Prime Minister Modi's time, we developed the capacity of a space anti-satellite weapon. We made it clear that we are not offensive, we are not using it, we are not militarizing the space, but we are demonstrating our capacity that if you try to fiddle with our space asset, it will not go unpunished. We will punish you. So we demonstrated to the world our anti-satellite capacity. That when we shot and destroyed a dead satellite, multiple of them, and demonstrated the capacity. The world, few countries, just 3-4 countries have this capacity. We are secure on the land, we are secure in the air, we are secure in the water, we are secure in space, and so we are much better secure even in cyber domain. We are much better secure today than ever before.
I'd like to raise one important sensitive issue. During Operation Sindoor, government swiftly entered and fought the terrorists. Uh, when it's external threats, the government shows more speed. But when it comes to the internal, I'm talking about the social media war against our own country. Some people were openly seen supporting the enemy country. There were posts glorifying the enemy country, and uh, there were rumors about our own army. Some papers even carried wrong news about our army. Our warplanes were shot down. Why is information and broadcasting is going soft on these people? Why there is no punitive action?
Our people, enemies within. Look, we have freedom of media. We have right to expression, free expression, fundamental right to our citizens. And there are numerous instances where they are misused. You know, what you said, that the people who have been deprecating about Operation Sindoor, the such casting doubt, I would take you to our Constituent Assembly. You know, Baba Saheb Dr. Ambedkar, in his last speech in the Constituent Assembly, 25th of November, 26th of November it was adopted. He had delivered his speech. This was his last speech. And there, the concluding part of his speech is something that we must remember, read and remember. Baba Sahib said that we have become independent, we are going to be republic, but my greatest worry is, will we be able to preserve this independence? It is not that India was always enslaved. India was an independent country. But why did we get enslaved? And then he starts quoting incidents from history. I tell you, you read it, you develop goosebumps. He says, I am reminded of when Muhammad bin Qasim invaded Sindh, who defeated Dahir Sain, the Indian ruler of Sindh. It's not bin Qasim, our own people. They worked against the local king. Comes further. He quotes all these instances. When Chhatrapati Maharaj Shivaji was fighting the cruel rule of Aurangzeb and trying to liberate, who was fighting Shivaji? Our own rulers were fighting Shivaji. Who invited, he goes further, who invited Gori to invade India and fight Prithviraj? His own brother Jaichand. He says when Sikh king Gulab Singh, when the British were fighting with him, who betrayed Gulab Singh? Our own people. And then Baba Sahib says, my greatest worry is, will we not repeat the history? Will our own people not betray us? Today, unfortunately, we are seeing that playing out. A strategy under which these people are working for their vested interest, often patronized and supported by the external forces, hostile forces. They are systematically trying to create narratives to lower the confidence of our people in our own capacity. Because of late, there has been awakening of self-confidence. To weaken that self-confidence, they are attacking the institutions which the world acknowledged as the most efficient institution. These people have been systematically targeting those institutions. They started saying, Constitution is in danger. How? But they created a narrative, and some innocent people, gullible people could even believe it. Could be. When you start disseminating this. Our election commission. The world acknowledges that India's election commission is among the most robust election commission in the world and most fair and impartial. They are invited across the world to train other election commissions, to guide them. They want to learn from our experience. But there are people who all the time keep targeting election commission to create doubt among the people about its impartiality, its confidence, its capability. You have mechanism by which you can go for redressal. We have our judiciary, fiercely independent judiciary, fiercely independent. No, you will not go to, I will only say Election Commission of India is highly compromised. You will not go to judiciary. And when judiciary says something, you will say, you will lose the trust in the judiciary, tell the people judiciary is compromised. So you see Election Commission of India, Indian judiciary, Indian military. Our military, completely a political organization, so efficient, so dedicated. They have never let us down. In the most adverse circumstances, we can't forget in 1962, they didn't have warm clothing and they had the primitive 303. With that, they went and fought in the cold, snow-clad Himalayan mountains. Many of them, their bodies were found frozen, cold. They were not given even warm clothing. But they fought. They never let us down. And you doubt the Indian military. So this systematic attempt to create lack of confidence among the people in our institution is a part of external design to lower the morale of our people and create confusion and anarchy. And this we have to be very careful of. This is unfortunate. We should not, and we cannot, it is not desirable to go hammer and tong against these people. Because over the time, people start seeing through it. Okay, look, people, those who are casting doubt on election commission, EVM, when election commission says that you come and test, you can see if you can tamper it, you don't go there, but I say that you are compromised. So you hit and run away. And you keep doing that. Eventually, people are now far more wiser today than before. I think they are seeing through all this. But the fact is that our internal enemies, those who are trying to weaken the morale of our people, their self-confidence, by questioning the integrity and capacity of our institutions, of which the whole country have been always proud of, is a very dangerous game. And we have to be very careful about it.
What exactly is the constitutional duty of the governor regarding the pendency of bills?
A team came. In fact, Chief Minister came. I told them, look, is it done? ಅರಿವಿನಾಲ್ ಆಗುವುದು ಉಂಡು ಪಿರತ್ ನೋಯ್ ತನ್ನ ನೋಯ್ ಪೋಲೆ ಪುಟ್ರ ಅರ್ಕಳಿ. And I have been raising the issues of atrocities on Dalit Adi Devada schools. Most pathetic.